We're going to explain how to fix the trying to access array offset on value of type null error in PHP 7.4 and later versions. This error crops up when you try to access an element of an array, but that array is actually null. It means you're treating something that doesn't exist like it does. Here's how to troubleshoot and solve it, broken down into steps. 1. Understanding the problem. The core issue is that a variable you believe holds an array is, in reality, empty or hasn't been assigned a value yet. This often happens when a function or method returns null unexpectedly, or when dealing with data fetched from a database or external API where a record might be missing. You're essentially trying to do something like $myArray0 when $myArray is null, hence the error. 2. Debugging techniques. The first step is to pinpoint where the null value originates. Use var_dump $myArray or print_r $myArray just before the problematic line to inspect the variable's value and type. If it's null, you've found your culprit. PHP's error reporting is your friend. It tells you the exact line causing the issue. Step through your code using a debugger, like xdebug, to monitor the variable's value at different points. This allows you to see exactly where and why the array becomes null. 3. Null coalescing operator. This is often the simplest solution. The null coalescing operator provides a default value if the variable is null. Instead of $myArray0, you'd use $myArray0 null, or a more meaningful default, like an empty array once or 0 depending on your context. This ensures that if $myArray is null, you won't trigger an error. Instead, you'll get the default value. 4. Conditional checks, isSet, and is_array. Before accessing the array, explicitly check if it's both set and an array. Use isIt $myArray to verify that the variable exists and is _array $myArray to confirm it's of the correct type. A robust solution would look like this: if isSet $myArray and an is _array $myArray and count $myArray 0 and isSet $myArray 0 / access $myArray 0 here. This checks if the array exists, is an array, has elements, and if the index 0 exists before attempting access. 5. Inspecting data sources. If the array comes from an external source like a database or API, review the query or API call. Ensure that you're fetching the correct data and handling cases where the data might be missing. Proper error handling in these external calls is vital. A missing database row or an API returning an empty response can lead to null values. 6. Function return values. If a function is supposed to return an array but returns null under certain conditions, modify the function to either always return an array, even if it's empty, or handle the null scenario gracefully. Ensure all functions are well documented about possible return types. 7. Refactoring. Sometimes the entire approach needs a rethink. If frequent null checks are becoming cumbersome, consider redesigning the code to avoid this situation altogether. A well-structured program is less prone to these errors. By carefully addressing the source of null values, using appropriate checks, and practicing defensive programming, you'll significantly reduce the likelihood of this error occurring. Remember to always check your data types and handle potential errors gracefully.